Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video. And in today's video, I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks when it comes to using the shotgun, and as well, I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks when it comes to improving your aim with it. And before we get into the video, I have a weekly V-Buck giveaway. I'm gonna be giving away V-Bucks every single Friday, and if you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you guys need to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and as well subscribe to my second channel. I post a ton of really good content on there, so make sure you guys do subscribe, turn on my post notifications, and as well leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And if you guys would like to support me as a creator in the item shop, all you have to do is go over to the item shop, go into the bottom right hand corner, support a creator, and type in my code. My code is Young Humor. Type it in and you guys will have me support it as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks when it comes to the shotgun in Fortnite. I'm gonna be talking about a lot of things when it comes to accuracy, just getting better with the weapon overall, and different things like that. So to start off, I want to be talking about the combat shotgun. Really, any shotgun in this game, it really doesn't matter. But I want to talk about flick shots because I know a lot of you guys do a lot of flick shots when it comes to shooting your shots in game. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So when it comes to flick shots, obviously flick shots aren't going to be the best way to aim. It's going to be a lot more beneficial, especially for those of you guys who are on controller, and even for PC too. But for controller, you do have aim assist, so aiming down your sights as much as possible from those ranges is going to be the most accurate thing to do. You do have a little bit of aim assist when it comes to hip firing, but when it comes to aiming down your sights, it's going to be a ton easier to hit your shots than otherwise trying to hit your shots without aiming. It's just a ton easier, saves you a ton of time, and just a lot better to do. So any chance that you have to aim, I definitely would recommend doing so, because you're going to hit your shots more than likely. And so when it comes to going for flick shots, my recommendation, I would say, is probably one of the best things you can do when it comes to going for those flick shots and shots where you're flicking a little bit over, is I would try to have it so you have to flick the least amount as possible, because the more you have to flick, I feel like the worse chance you have of actually hitting your shot. And there's the reason being is pretty simple, because the more you have to move, the more you're relying on kind of muscle memory and how far you have to drag it over, because that's basically what it is. If you're going for a flick shot, it's just really muscle memory and how fast you think it's going to be going over, you know, how fast your sensitivity is, your cursor, whatever the case may be. So you have to keep that in mind when you're going for flick shots. The more you flick over, the less chance you are having of hitting that shot, and as well, you're not going to be aiming down your sights, so it is relying on hip fire. So you really want to keep that in mind when you are going for flick shots. Like I said, the most accuracy you're going to have with going for flick shots is going to be the closer you are or the less you have to flick, because the more you have to flick, the more chances you have of throwing off your aim and just different things like that. So it's definitely going to be a lot harder to hit your shots if you have to flick halfway across your screen, especially if the player is on the complete opposite side where it's very hard to see them. So you want to keep it as close as possible. I would highly recommend doing so, and I guarantee you guys are going to be hitting a lot more shots. Even on your flick shots where you don't have to flick as much, you're going to be hitting a ton more of those. And so the next thing I wanted to be talking about in this video, I wanted to compare the stats in between the combat shotgun and the tac shotgun and really break down the damage and everything like that. So for the combat shotgun, the damage that we have is going to be 73 damage. So the max damage you can do with a body shot is going to be 73 on the blue pump. Of course, you have a purple one or gold one is going to be doing the most damage, but the most common one you're going to find is going to be a blue combat shotgun. So that's going to be 73 damage to the body. The fire rate is going to be 1.85, which is relatively fast. That's pretty fast for a shotgun. And with the magazine size of 10, it is bigger than the tac shotgun or any other shotgun in the game that has been in the game. And the reload time is going to be 5.3, which really, if you're comparing a gun, reload time shouldn't even matter. But with the tactical shotgun, the damage is going to be 79, which is 6 points higher than the combat shotgun. But you have to keep in mind that's going to be an all pellet hit, and there are more pellets with the tactical shotgun other than the combat shotgun. So you have to keep that in mind as well. It's going to be a little bit harder to get that max damage. The fire rate is going to be 1.5, which is slower than the combat shotgun, and then magazine size 8, reload time 5.7. The only thing that really matters is the damage and fire rate. So with the tactical shotgun, you're going to be hitting for more damage, but the fire rate is going to be lower. And most of you guys are going to be using the combat shotgun in your game, so why even use the tactical shotgun? And you're absolutely right, the tactical shotgun is an absolutely terrible weapon. Hits for 25 at its best, you're not going to be hitting for any damage, so you might as well never use the tactical shotgun. It's terrible, it says the damage higher, but you'll never hit for a 70 damage shot with this weapon, I can guarantee that. So basically the only usable shotgun in the game is going to be the combat shotgun, but if you are unfortunate enough to pick off a tac at the beginning of the game, it's going to be very hard to hit your shots and you're better off just using an assault rifle. So the combat shotgun is going to be your best bet when it comes to the shotgun. And honestly, the combat shotgun is going to be one of the most overpowered and strongest weapons in this game, just because all the nerfs they did to it, they made it super consistent, and the damage hitting for 73 plus. And if you go into the purple and gold ones, you can knock off 150 damage in only 2 shots, which is absolutely insane. So that's just something to keep in mind, that with those upper level shotguns, you can knock off someone's 150 HP, which a lot of people are going to be running around 150. I know they did make some updates where they made the shield potions a little bit more available, they made the minis more available, and they also made the shield potions more available. So a lot more people are going to be running around on 200 HP, like the guy that I'm shooting at right now. So a lot of players are running on 200 HP, so you have to keep that in mind. But more than likely, you're going to find a ton of people on 150 HP as well, and only doing 2 shots to knock off their entire HP is going to be absolutely insane and just a melt overall. So when you're going into a gunfight with another player using that weapon, if they get the first shot off on you, more than likely you kind of want to just disengage or come from a different angle, because if they get that second shot on you, you have absolutely no chance and you're going to end up losing that gunfight, and they're going to be hitting for a ton of damage. So that's one thing with this weapon you have to keep in mind. If you don't get that first shot off, it's going to be very hard to come back in that fight. So you just want to always just make sure that when you're going into the fight, you get that first shot off. And if you get the first shot off, more than likely you're going to be winning that fight every single time. But if you don't, you really have to be very cautious, because if they don't miss any of their shots, you're going to be losing that gunfight, because it's basically just going to be a war on who hits them with the more shots. Because if they shoot first, then that means they're going to be able to kill you first if you guys hit the exact same amount of shots. And when it comes to actually aiming with the combat shotgun, in my opinion, I would say only aim for chest and above, and the reason being, I don't know if it's just for me, but I feel like I've hit the most shots doing so. If I aim a little bit lower, I don't know if you guys have the same problem, but I feel like I end up shooting in between your legs. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but I feel like it happens more times than not. I swear I shoot right at them. I completely miss my shot. I feel like I shoot in between their legs or in between their feet, which is super annoying. But just to counter that, I basically only aim for chest and above. So a lot of the shots I'm going to be going for are going to be chest and above. More than likely, I'm going to be hitting all of my pellets. And if I do hit a headshot, I'm going to be hitting for 130 damage plus, which is a ton of damage for one shot with this weapon. And if you hit one shot with this weapon with a headshot and one body shot, it's going to kill a player every single time, no matter what. So if you are able to get that headshot and just get off a second shot, you're going to be winning that gunfight every single time, because you are going to be winning that fight. Also, something else that I touched on in a video or two ago that I think is really important and needs to be touched on again is I talked about the weapons in this game. I talked about the SMGs, you know, the really bad SMGs they added, the tactical SMG, they added a drum gun, which isn't really too bad, but they nerfed it quite a bit. It's nearly not as good as it used to be, so it's not really the weapon you'd really want to be using a lot of the times. So with that being said, the combat shotgun is just, like I said, one of the strongest, I mean, if not the strongest weapon in this game. It's super good at medium range, it's better at close range, and it's just better at long range than a sniper rifle. It just really has everything that you can want in this game. So with all of that being said, it's going to be a lot better to use than an SMG drum gun or anything like that, just because this gun already has enough range on it. And on top of that, it's going to be a very stronger weapon when it comes to close range or point blank as well. Just because the SMG is going to be hitting for the low damage in the 20s, and just to have more damage than the shotgun would do for just one shot, you would have to hit 4 shots in a row. And because the fire rate is so good with the combat shotgun, there's going to be no chance of even possibly losing that gunfight against another player using an SMG if you are able to hit your shots with the combat shotgun, because the fire rate's a lot better, and just the combat, like I said, with a gun that does 20 damage per shot, it's just really not efficient at all, and you're not going to win any fights using that SMG against a player who's using a combat shotgun. So close range and point blank, 100% use a combat shotgun every single time. You'll win just about 90% of your gunfights doing so. and on top of that, mid-range, you're going to use a combat shotgun as well. And that was really the trade-off when it came to the pump and the SMG. The SMG was so much better at that mid-range because the pump had just about no range at all. They nerfed that. But close range, the pump was very strong, so it was kind of that balance. But nowadays, I think the combat shotgun does it all. It has a long range, close range, medium range. It really has everything you can want in a shotgun in this game. And with that being said, that's wrap it up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys liked it. And if you guys could drop a like on this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on my notifications so you're notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.